Hey, I want to make a quick video for PCAs or really any students in general about what makes our Mastering Science courses so good, and just some of the things that I really like about them from a student perspective. So this whole video is going to kind of walk you through how to register for this specific course. This one that we're going through is actually Mastering Biology. It would be relatively similar for the resources would be relatively similar for Mastering Chemistry, Mastering A&P, Mastering Physics to a degree as well. Each of the different disciplines has their own super specific tools and resources, but I figured this would be a good starting place. So I'm going to enroll in the course, and you're going to want to make sure that you have your course ID available. So this is the one that I'm using, and then you'll also want to make sure that you have an access code. Oh, looks like I've already registered for this. So you may be prompted for an access code. If so, you can put that in there. Okay, and I'm registering. I'll go back to my courses. Okay, and then I will. So this is my student account. I'm going to click into the course right there. It's our Majors Biology demo. We have a handful of homework assignments already set up in here. So let me open it. Okay. I've pared down this menu on the left, so you may be looking at if you're looking at a different course, you may have a larger menu in there. That's fine. I kind of just wanted to make sure that we had just the most important things right there. The eText, study area, and tools, and scores, sorry. So here are a bunch of assignments that I already have set up. These ones in blue are like our, what you would think of as like a, weekly homework assignment. This purple one is our interactive lab. The pink one is a scheduled reading, so instructors can schedule readings for students on the day that they're due, which is a really nice feature to kind of help students stay organized. And then the little orange icon is a DSM, which is our dynamic study module. So I'm going to start out with one of our demo assignments. I'll do camel biology. So I'm going to open it up, and you can do that just by clicking on the first item there. There we go. Or any of the items. And then here we go. So this is a video assignment. It's a figure walkthrough. So there's an animation here that walks through how this U-shaped tube works. I don't really know too much about biology. I'm not a biology expert by any means, but I'll go through and I'll submit my answer. I'll check, and it says you're incorrect. You have 5 attempts. That's just one of the homework settings that was set by this instructor. What I really like about Mastering, and I think it sets it apart from any other platform on the market, is these super specific wrong answer feedbacks. So when you get an answer wrong, you obviously are going to want to go back to the book or some of your resources, your class notes, and figure out what you got wrong. But I like that the feedback is so specific. It says, regardless of the amount on each side of the membrane, solute molecules are too big to pass through the selectively permeable membrane. Now, if I was a student taking a majors biology class and I had read the chapter, that would probably make a lot of sense to me. Let me try something else. I selected a different answer. And this is what I'm talking about, the specificity of this feedback. The green dots represent the solute molecules. Which side has more green dots? And so I'll kind of skip on because I don't really know what the answers are there. But the purpose of this is to show you, what the feedback looks like. And so I tried it again. This is a drag and drop. Think about the side that water will diffuse from. Will it diffuse from higher concentration of free water or solute? So this is just one assignment. This was not, I did not prep this ahead of time. This is not some special homework question that has wrong answer feedback. These are all like this. So I'll kind of skip through it just so you can kind of get an idea of what sort of homework assignments we have, right? It's not just a string of questions with fill in the blank or multiple choice. Like these are really interactive and engaging questions that hopefully help students get at a next level of thinking, right? Beyond just repeating glossary terms that they've learned in the book. It's hopefully getting students and the learners thinking about what's happening here, right? What's happening in this chapter. And so I'll kind of skip through these. I don't know. I think they're just fantastic. I think we've done a really great job with those. So that was that was just one of our demo assignments. We have a bunch in here. I would recommend. So I'm going back to the course home here. I would recommend playing around with those. And if you have any biology background at all, see if those. I'd love to hear some feedback about whether or not those seem to be helpful. And so we also have these interactive labs. These are new. I'm going to open these up. And so one thing that a lot of schools face right now is it might be a lack of lab space or a lack of, sometimes it's even, I've heard from schools, it's a lack of safe web space in lab space in the way that, labs aren't meant to have 60 students in there, right? So all 60 students in a lecture class aren't able to get as much time as the instructors maybe ideally would want. So, what these interactive labs do is they are a way to kind of take some of that lab time and those lab processes home. Or, you can do it in a lecture class, or you can take it home and do it from your dorm room or your apartment. So I'll kind of scroll down just to give you an idea of what this looks like. Right now, the part that we're in right now is more of like an introduction and an overview of what the lab is. So let's go into the dashboard. And so I wish I could just get in the lab experiment to show you. Maybe I'll actually, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to go through a couple of these and get in that lab experiment just so you have an idea of what that looks like. But I would also recommend checking it out on your own as well. All right, I'm back. It was probably barely even a break for you, but I was going through this, and I'm actually still in the introduction, but there was just something that I thought was just so mastering about these interactive labs, right? So much like the platform. And so right now I'm going through and I'm defining the question that's being asked. And what I want to really point out here is that if a student is doing this from their dorm room or from home or, outside of the classroom, they're getting this super specific feedback to their wrong answers, right? It's talking about defining a question, and the feedback that's given down here when I have an incorrect answer is so specific and really is going to improve student learning and understanding. I'm going to pause again. We'll skip ahead. Okay, all right. So now we're in the lab. So I've done a couple steps already, but I kind of just want to show what the interactive labs look like. And so I'm grabbing the inoculation loop and I'm dragging the loop over the last stretch of inoculation by the swab. Oh, well, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. Now, yep. Oh, yeah. See, I'm kind of dragging that back and forth. So these are, one thing that I've kind of noticed as I'm going through this already is, it's really trying to reinforce to students small things like, washing your hands before you start and after you've put the cotton swab and the bacteria, throwing it into the biohazard can and things like that are being reinforced in a lab in the classroom. And so I think that's really important. So I'll pause here and we'll jump back into mastering. All right. There was really no reason to pause. It was just in another tab. I was kind of in that pausing flow. The last thing I'm going to kind of show off here is our dynamic study modules. These are assigned, they kind of started in mastery. Now we have them for other areas as well. We have them for math and stats, a lot of the content or discipline areas in the business school. But they started in mastering, and they really have like those mastering ideologies about, kind of like learning through doing and recreating the office hour experience at home. So when you're at home and you can't do the lab in class, you're able to do it at home and get that feedback from mastering that you would typically get from an instructor. These dynamic study modules a lot of times are used as a pre-lecture reading quiz. And they're much different than a reading quiz, though, because the idea of these is that we're, learning, throughout the assignment rather than assessing how much we know. So, we'll kind of start here. And so you have the options when you're going through to, if you know the answer, you can click on it. If you're unsure of the answer, you can try 2, or you can always say, I don't know yet. I'll just skip. So I'm going to go through. One thing I want to point out as I'm going through these, and don't try to read. Guys, listen to me for right now. One thing I want to point out as we're kind of going through here is that when you answer the question, you're not being told what the correct answer is. It's just taking the questions that you don't understand, you as a student don't understand, and it's kind of filing it away for now. And so, let's see, that was my 7th question. This is my 8th question. I'm going to hit submit. And instead of going on to that next question, it's going to say, okay, let's stop here. You've done 8 questions. Let's go learn. And so I'll hit learn. And each of the questions that I got 1 question correct with full confidence. And so that is, put into a bucket that I'll never, a bucket of questions I'll never see again, that I understand the content there and I don't need to be tested on it again. Everything else, the light green are the ones that I wasn't super confident in, and all the reds were the ones that I got incorrect. When you scroll down, you'll be presented with a question again, what I answered, and then what the correct answer is. And then most importantly, there's content being pulled in from the chapter that's talking about why the correct answer is correct. And so it's a really powerful learning tool because it's walking students through information. This is typically just baseline foundational information from the chapter that students should have learned through reading. So most students should be able to kind of fly through this if they understood what they read, get everything right, and just kind of reinforce their knowledge. If they read and think they know what they're doing, but may not have a full grasp of the chapter, they're going to have this opportunity to relearn some of that information. And then if they're a student that maybe didn't read, it's a good way before class to kind of get that understanding of what the correct answer is, to help prepare them for lecture. Each of the questions that are wrong end up getting put back into the module. It's a dynamic study module. So each question, though it's incorrect, is put back in the module, and the student or the learner is going to need to get that right before they've completed the module. One thing that I'll also kind of pull down here is we have our dashboard, and it shows based on how well I've performed so far, how much time is left, the accuracy of my questions, which is not great, and then that progress of mastery, in progress, or incorrect is up here as well. So at the end of the day, every student is going to have an opportunity to master every question in this module, and every student should be getting 100% because after going through, getting the answer correct, reading the content, they get proposed the question again, and hopefully the next time they'll get it right. This is kind of just a quick, 13 minutes probably doesn't feel very quick, but it's kind of a quick overview of just some of the assignments and assignment types that are available on Mastering. I still think that the most important thing that can be taken away from Mastering, what makes Mastering different from other platforms, is these homework assignments. And the way that the homework assignments are chunked out for students, it's assessing what they know from a particular chapter or what they know from a particular learning objective or content area, and for the things that they don't understand, it's not putting them in a position to not learn that information, right? It's giving them that wrong answer feedback, and helping them. I'll pull that up again. Oops, sorry, not here. It's giving them that opportunity to learn so that they can show mastery of the particular chapter. So I'll go down here to one of the other questions, just so I can kind of have this up here. It's just, I think that it's just so powerful, that feedback you get. And one thing we're seeing here that I didn't really get before because I didn't get anything right, is when you get an answer correct, maybe you guessed on that and you weren't sure. Well, you're still getting that feedback there, You're still getting that feedback to tell you, yeah, you were right there. This is why it's right. Yeah, and another cool feature too is that, as you're going through this, before you answer a question, so I'll go to a new one just so we can kind of see what it looks like. Before you answer a question, you can go in here and you can click review, and it's going to take you right to that chapter, right to the chapter in the book where this question is, where this content is being talked about. I hope this video is helpful and kind of just gives you a good idea of what these assignments look like. The eText and Mastering, I think, is fantastic. The study area is a great way for students to kind of study on their own. And I'll kind of pull that up just so you kind of have an idea of what's in here. But this is basically it's a library of everything that is in the book and available. And you can see just all of these different menu items of our figure walkthroughs, our 3D animations, the Howard Hughes Institute of the Biointeractive videos, current event articles. What I like to, I go into study by chapter. Right now, maybe I'm working on chapter 10, photosynthesis. And what it does is it pulls all of those assets, all those resources that live in chapter 10 and puts them right here. Right. So if you're trying to review for a chapter 10 test, you can go through and do a quick review of some of those animations and videos to kind of help you out. So again, hope this is super helpful, kind of gives you a better idea of what mastering is from the student perspective. There's so much more in here. I'm happy to do more of these as we go, but I figured this would be a good place to start. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching.